And in today's video, we're going to continue where we left off with the Elmsley count by showing an application using the Elmsley count just to do a little cool trick. So if you haven't seen the Elmsley count video yet, feel free to check it out. I think I'll put a link in the description above. And we're just going to hop right on into it. So cards shuffled in the fairest manner, and we have a card selected. And as you can see, free choice, not the same card over and over again, as I love to say. So we have a card selected, let's just say here. And I won't look, I show it to the camera. There we go. And I always show it twice because you may never know who is sedated. Just kidding, just kidding. And we're going to mix up the cards as well, so we can get it, as Daryl would say, hopelessly lost inside the pack. And we'll give it a couple cuts as well. As they would say, always trust your friends, but just as always, cut the cards. So I'm going to take a couple guesses at what your card could be. I'm just going to go right off the top. I'll just take these 4 cards. Ooh, Jack of Hearts. Lovely card. So we're going to take a couple cards. Jack of Hearts is one I was thinking could be, possibly. Another is the 4 of Spades. Another is the 2 of Clubs and the 10 of Hearts. So any of these could be your card. I guess the moment of truth was it any of these 4 cards? And the audience answers a resounding no. Oh. Yeah, I think I didn't do so well in this effect so far, but we'll make it work. We'll make it work somehow, because I just don't believe it was the 10 of Hearts. I don't think it was, nor was it the 4 of Spades. I don't think so either. I don't think it was the 2 of Clubs either. Just not getting a vibe off those, but I do feel like it was one card in particular. Name your card. Really? Not the 2 of Hearts or anything of that nature? Oh, you really? 10 of Clubs? And we get the 10 of Clubs right there. Like and subscribe. So now we're going to go into the explanation of this particular effect. Right now. So jumping into the explanation of this particular effect, we have a card selected. So let's just say, for example, it will be the let's go with the Ace of Hearts. So I'm going to use it face up just for explanation purposes. So card selected, there we go, that's what we end up with. And to go into, we're going to use the overhand shuffle. I also have a video on this, if in case you're curious. Just type in Evolving Magic overhand shuffle, and I cover that in section 1. And we're going to shuffle the 4 cards on top of it, in jog, and then shuffle off. So we have card put back in jog, style shuffle. We jog 4 cards, or jog, add 4 cards to it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Jog right here, the cards, and then shuffle off like so. So we get a jog right here. We lift up at the jog, inserting our pinky break right there, and then from here we do a basic triple cut where we just lift up half of the upper pack above the break, drop it, cut at the break, drop it, and the remaining cards drop it on top. So the selection, in this case the Ace of Hearts, is 5th on top. So again, one more time, just the jog shuffle. Okay. We get it in this jog shuffle position. Okay. And I'm going to do it this time in real-time motion so you can actually see it. Okay. So I go, and I'm going to shuffle off the card, shuffle the cards, lose inside the pack. Or I would say that as I'm shuffling. And I'm going to shuffle up the cards so it's shuffled off inside the pack. And I would usually add gesture, hopelessly lost. And that would be in nearly real time how I would go about it. So we got it 5th from the top in that case. So now we simply, I kind of created this effect, but I can't fully claim credit. I don't know if someone else came up with this idea before me. So if you see something very, very similar, I'll throw in the credit to whoever. I try to be fair where I can. So I turn over the top 4 cards, okay, and I get a break below the 5th. So I push off 4 cards, and these are just random cards above the selection, and I get a break on the selection, and I turn those 4 cards over. Again, another way you can do it is you could really just no break needed. You could just turn over the top 4 cards, spread them, and show it, and then get the break on the card as you spread them, 1 card over, and spread, and then you can square and get in that break. From here, this is going to be very fun and interesting. Let me see. Yeah, we're in frame. Okay. I just always concerned if I'm in frame. We then, so we added the card, so it's 4 cards are face up, 1 face down, which is selection. We then take the cards in the middle finger and thumb, and then we use our thumb to slip off 1 card onto the pack, no break, nothing, just, and we show it the Jack of Hearts, name it. Now for the next one, we get a pinky break below the 10 of Hearts as we show it, and keeping it jogged so you can see the Jack of Hearts and the 10 of Hearts, okay? We then pull it off a little bit more, like we have it jogged a little bit more. 4 spades, okay? So going back, Jack of Hearts to the pack. 4 spades, you get a break underneath the 4 spades, and you leave it jog slightly to the right so you can see the Jack of Hearts and the 4 hearts. Okay. We then use the thumb to slip off the 10 of Hearts. Okay, so we got 3 cards right here. A break above the Jack of Hearts, below the 4 spades. Okay. And then we got a double right here, which is 2 of clubs and the Ace of Hearts. And what I do is I just add it underneath the thumb presses and keeps everything together so everything could seem copacetic. And you don't need to worry too much about the double, it just stays right there. Boom. Okay. And this is where it gets really, really fun and interesting and very bold. What makes this trick very, very bold. But you can add a cleanup. I'll give a cleanup idea. You then square up all the cards, and then you can turn this deck down if you have a table. That's if you really want to be bold and just like living on the edge. For walk around, this could be a great, great walk around effect. So, because we are in this position. So, in essence, what you can do, assuming this, to keep the 2 of clubs squared, so you don't want to have it break and that happening. That would be very bad. So, we were in this position. Another idea of what we can do is we got the 4 cards right here. We can square it up, taking everything above the Jack of Hearts right here. We risk kill so we don't flash that Jack, and we make sure we can time it so we can also make it casual gestures we're squaring up. We can talk for a second as we lift up everything above the Jack of Hearts. And so the heat isn't on the Jack. So it's the only point of flashing is towards you. So you can turn it down like this, right here. And then you can ditch everything, the packet to your pocket, cleaning up for that face-up Jack of Hearts. That's one way to do it, okay? If you feel like being bold and leaving it here, I do offer a cleanup for that after. So now we're in this position where we've got 2 random cards below, 1 random card above, and a selection right here reversed. Okay. And I now ask at this point if any of their cards were their selection. They will answer no. Then we do the Elmsley count, which we had talked about earlier, to show casually all 4 cards face down, and I taking the last card and adding it back to the bottom. And then you can, because the one card's on bottom, you can casually flash without having to worry about the reverse card. Now at this point, you can end multiple ways. A simple way is to spin the cards. You keep middle finger and thumb in the center with the recessive hand. Middle finger from the dominant hand turns. Boom. And ask for the name of the card. And then you can go back, showing that Ace of Hearts, leaning it forward. So, back 1 with middle finger, back, and middle finger and forefinger. Pulling back with the second finger. Then using the middle finger to jog that card up. And then everything will naturally square up by going up. You can turn it over, show it, drop the cards here, or ditch them in the pocket. And trick's over. All that's left is the card, you finding it, and then you. So that's a great memorable piece. Now let's say you didn't want to opt for that, but you want to do something more interesting, as you saw in the performance. Um, and again, there's multiple ways to reveal it. You can do a scanio, showing it. Ooh, boom, appears. But for the way I did it, I would turn one card face up. Top card, I go in this order in particular. I turn the top card, I show it two of clubs, not their selection. You answered, okay, it's not that one. I then slide off using the fingers, slide off the bottom card using the pads, slide it off, and show it on the table. Probably wasn't four spades either. Now at this point, I actually do something very interesting. I have the two cards back to back right here, selection right here, random card right here. And I kind of grip it in a gambler's cup kind of thing. And I peel off one of the cards, so I lift off. And now it's being held by the middle finger and thumb. And I turn this card over so you can't see its face right here. It's like an Eddie Fector subtlety when he did his Fector's Aces from his book, The Magic of Eddie Fector. So, again, I lift off, so I got one card. And then I risk kill. Oh, right here. Yeah, I'm trying to make sure I get the right angle so you can see this. So I'll just do it right here. So I peel off one card, and then I immediately have one card, the selection in the lower hand, and I immediately risk kill it, but leave it sticking out right here. And so we've got a random selection right here, and we got that situation. I then turn over the third card. I can flick it using, since it was held middle finger and thumb, I can just pop it off using just letting go. The forefingers right here, middle finger's right there, thumb's right there, and thumb and forefinger just grab as the middle finger lets go, and then you can show that 10 of hearts right there. So those are three down, and you say, oh, that's interesting, none of those. But what was the name of your selection? And feel free to miscall it as like the four of hearts or 8 of hearts or whatever card you feel like. Just throwing them off. It wasn't that, and then you can suggest by just doing it. But I don't, because I tend to be honest with my audience. I just suggest it, but I don't say that's this card. And then they say no, it was that one, and then you can flick and then show the ace of hearts for a great finish. And for the cleanup, which I did say I was going to talk about, there's a couple different ways you can do it. You can show these cards, toss them on top, and then you can pick up that ace of hearts and then turn it down. That's one way. You can set the 3 cards aside because they weren't the selections. So I say it wasn't that one, wasn't that one, wasn't that one, wasn't any of these guys. I set them on top, and then flick, show the ace of hearts, and then I can scoop up the face of the pack, turning over, creating that cover card for the face of Jack of Hearts earlier, and then do the cam move. I believe Marlowe came up with the cam move. I was popularized by Oz Perlman in one of his Penguin Magic DVDs. I believe it was, dang, I can't remember. But it was a great Penguin Magic DVD. And then so I just do the cam move to be able to clean up the card. And the cam move, I might as well go briefly into it, just really briefly so you can be able to use it. For first finger, second finger, and thumb, we take the card. Okay, hopefully this is covered perfectly. I should really adjust the camera angle on this to being more over here, so you get a better view right here. Lower. Right. Oh, come on, stop being stubborn. Okay, there we go. So what we do for the cam move, in this case, is one card's face up, we want to turn face down, or once card's face down, we want to turn face up. It has multiple applications. We then take the double, so we take a double. The card that face up, we're going to turn face down. Double, slide it to a corner. It's kind of like a paintbrush change almost. And so we have the double right here, as you can see. Okay, slide down to the corner. And what we're going to do is you're going to use the fingers right here. They're holding onto the card on the edge. Forefinger right here, so it's kind of like a mechanic's grip. And just kind of flip the card up like this. Boom. So it goes from face up to face down, sliding over, and then boom. Now what covers this, because it would seem very obvious that you did something very sneaky, it tends to be under misdirection, or just talk with spectators, casual comment as you do it. It's usually an offhand move you do. Don't try to make a big deal about it, because you do, people go, oh, hey, what did you do? Whatever. And then you need to further clean up by shuffling the cards to erase everything. So the best way to handle this, you just casual talk with spectators, have the cards down in the corner. And then what we do is, after we've cleared the card, as we've shown, doing this, pulling it on up, I then use my thumb to flick the card, and then show the top card being the Ace of Hearts. And you can drop that card on top, cleaning up. So again, Jack of Hearts, Ace of Hearts. Turn this Jack of Hearts face down, slide it down, fingers grip it, and then pop it like this. But instead of just doing that, we do it in addition to, now do not pop it so hard, we slowly do it, and then we can flick this card, showing the Ace of Hearts, the selection from earlier, turn it down, and we're good. You could follow it up with a shuffle or a cut, thus further cleaning up and alleviating all suspicion. And now the deck is set for a new trick, all the cards facing in the same way. So I hope this was helpful to you. The trick, the sleight, and everything therein. So you would be able to, and all little tidbits, everything in between. So you can be able to do this trick, amaze people for, well, since Halloween is coming up in Halloween's just coming up in general. And I just want to wish everyone a wonderful day. Keep on learning and growing the magic in both spirit, heart, mind, body, and soul. And just wishing everyone a good one. Like and subscribe. See you in the next video. And I'm going to mix on up. Like so. As Daryl will go, hopelessly.